Well, I think that kind of wraps up our Saints talk. You guys ready to move on?
Yep, let's do it.
Let's talk about the Cleveland Browns, another team that's kind of in turmoil. We don't project them to be very good. All sorts of things could happen, and we can look no further than the quarterback position. I was joking with Pete earlier today about possible thumbs for these players we're talking about, and I said Joe Flacco, and he said absolutely not. So I think he is the guy that's going to be the starter. We saw the news today, guys, or I assume you saw it. Shedeur, day-to-day, unlikely to play on Saturday. Don't really know what to make of that. I think this is Flacco's job to lose, but I do think that there's a good opportunity that both Gabriel and Sanders get some chances to play this year.
Well, the hard part's going to be, this is just the reality of it. As soon as they lose a couple games, the whole world's going to be up in arms wanting Shedeur to play, and the Browns will have to make a decision or they're never going to hear the end of it, and that's just how it is.
Yep. Tyler?
Yeah, I agree. I think Flacco is probably their best option currently. Obviously, he's not the future of the team, being 40 years old. But I think he gives the receiving options probably the best chance to succeed out of the gate.
Well, let's get to the position that's probably the best, true underdog story of what we're talking about right now, and that's going to be the running back position in Cleveland. We have the news with Quinshon Judkins, who's, whether he's going to play or not, who the heck knows. But what we do know is it's a great value push for guys like Jerome Ford and Dylan Sampson. I think that Jerome Ford is probably the one you would want. Is Dylan Sampson anything interesting to either one of you? Coach, you want to go first?
Yeah. Now, this Quinshon Judkins things, it really, dang, it's terrible. Like, it sucks for me too. Like, I've drafted him multiple times in dynasty, and man, it stinks bad. Sampson, he's fast. He's a great athlete. Like, somebody's got to carry the ball. That's kind of where we're at there. So they kind of know what they have in Ford. They know what they have in Pierre Strong. There's reason to see that they might as well give him a try. There's no reason not to just let him carry the ball some and see what happens.
Yeah, last week's game, he only had 2 carries and 1 target, so not really a ton of opportunity for him. Jerome Ford, I don't think he played. He might have played. I don't remember. But Tyler, what's your thoughts on this running back room?
For me, honestly, I'm just going Jerome Ford. I get what it is in terms of, you want to see the rookie, but I think the Browns they didn't bet everything on Quinshon because they took Dylan Sampson kind of around the same time. But for me, I think Quinshon is obviously their number one, and they're betting all their chips on him. So I think they're more likely to ride Ford out until Quinshon's, suspension or whatever comes. Just to see what they're going to do with him. So I would probably take Ford just because we've already seen him in the system. And like Matt said, somebody's got to carry the ball, so I'll take the guy that's already done it versus looking to see a come up from a rookie in Sampson.
Yeah. Well, before we move on to the wide receiver position, let's talk about William's question here. Over under week 9, Sanders is named the starter. Coach?
Over week 9. They're not going to start him until they absolutely have to. They'll give Dylan Gabriel a shot before they do him.
Ooh, Tyler.
Ooh, that's tough. That's a really good line. I'm going to go over, but not by much. I'd say probably like 10 or 11.
I'm going to say under. I'm going to say 7. Week 7. I don't think this Browns team is going to do anything. Like Coach said, when it hits 0-2, 0-3, I think they're going to be screaming for him to play. And it's worth noting, let's stop and look at the schedule. They open the season with Cincinnati. They play at Baltimore. They play Green Bay. They play at Detroit. This team is going 0-4. Does anyone think there's a chance they could win? Maybe Green Bay at home. They put some pressure on Jordan Love, make him make some mistakes.
Their defense is good.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Their defense is good. It's just, can they score points? I don't think they can keep up with Cincinnati. I don't think they can keep up with Baltimore. Detroit, we'll see with this new offense. Then they go with Minnesota, at Pittsburgh, Miami, at New England with a week 9 bye. So that's a brutal opening schedule for them.
So essentially, he's asking, do you think Sanders will be in before the bye or not. And Matt, if you're saying he's going to be there week 7, that's against Miami. That's right after he ends the Pittsburgh game with all those kind of tough defenses there. So I could see him coming in for the Miami game, if that's the way you want to go. But I would say it's probably after the bye for me.
Well, what's going to happen here, guys? I mean, they're not keeping all 4 quarterbacks, right? Somebody's headed to the practice squad. What's going to happen there?
I mean, I don't know, to be honest. I think that Kenny Pickett might be the guy if he can be healthy, does he stay on this roster? Does he get traded? I think he's the most likely to get traded, in my opinion. I don't see them trading for Joe Flacco. I know FF Rabbit says he thinks that someone will trade for Flacco, but I don't see that happening. I could see Kenny being a backup for someone. Maybe there's a little bit of injury bug somewhere in the league, but I think that.
Do we really think they're just going to completely bypass Dylan Gabriel, who they drafted higher, and play Sanders?
It's possible. I mean, Zach says here, what if Sanders goes on IR? I mean, that would be interesting. It would give them an opportunity to not have the pressure to play him and let him continue to develop inside, the meeting rooms, and then kind of prove it on the practice field and work into that starting lineup. Tyler, you mentioned he could come in after the bye. Very interesting. Mm-hmm. But I'm kind of with Coach. I think that Gabriel might get the nod before Sanders. But again, I think it goes back to this roster and this team and the schedule. I don't see them winning very many games to start the year, so I could absolutely see any of them playing.
I mean, I say that. I don't feel great about it, right? I mean,
yeah.
But
I think it.
I could see a little bit of I don't want to say phantom. I'm not saying he's not hurt, but in the baseball world, a guy starts struggling, and they wanted him to just take a break for a minute. He hits the DL for a little while, and he comes back. Like, I could see that with Sanders. Like, let's ease him into this thing. He had a good debut, but let's not kid ourselves. They weren't heating him up much. There wasn't a lot of pressure. Zach might be right there. So it was very vanilla what he faced the other night too. So everything about the preseason, like, sometimes you just gotta wait and see. You got to do it more than once.
Well, let's move on. Let's go to the wide receiver position.